Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Tóbi ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. Welcome back, and we are going to continue on the Python tutorials. And today I wanted to discuss print and the input functions. These two functions are very important thing, and we've been using the print a lot. So I wanted to discuss exactly what the print function does and the input function itself. So most programs are written to solve users' problems. To provide a solution, you usually need to ask for the problem to get some information. For example, let's say someone wants to find out if they are a teenager. You ask for their age. To do this, you are going to use an input function. Then when you get the age, you compare it by checking if it is less than 20. If the age is, let's say, 14, you may then say you're still a teenager kid. Outputting that information, you're still a teenager, is done using a print. Let's get into it. I have created a file here called print.py, and I have a comment. So if I go ahead and do print hello, then I would get the result of my print. Again, you can run your Python by going to the view, actually, then you would see terminal that left. So if I do terminal again, then yeah, so you can do Python print.py. Okay, so the print itself is used to output a message or an expression to the user over the console or the terminal, as the case may be. So it can output different types of data ranging from string, int, float, whatever. We can have hello Mr. Raymond. You can also run your Python from the right hand corner, so you get hello Mr. Raymond. You can input, so this is an example of a string. Don't forget, you can also use this for a string. This is a print function. So in this case also, you can run, then you get the output. You can print an integer, you get 6. So you can print, also you can print a float, and remember, float is always the one with a decimal. So you get that. You can print a list of numbers. As a matter of fact, you can print any data type using that function. And when I say function in programming are always donated like this, the name and the bracket. So we're going to get into what function really is in a later video. However, this focus is just to see what the print does. The print is so powerful that you can print an expression itself. It can calculate integer expression, let's say addition 5 plus 6. Do you think this would output 5 plus 6, or it's gonna output the value of 5 plus 6? Let's see. Then you get this. You can do multiplication, then you get this. So there's also one more thing I want you to know about print. So we have been printing different data type. We've been printing string. I can create a variable called message, and this is a message in a variable. And if I'm printing MSG, the print knows to print whatever is inside this variable MSG. So let's check it out. So it's going to print this is a message in a variable. If you have to print MSG and you have a need, you have any need to print MSG, you can put it in a string. Then it wouldn't print the value of the variable, it's just going to print MSG. So tabafe output anything, see it be terminal here, we usually use print. Okay, and also the print can print the values of something. Let's say result is 8 plus 9. Okay, and I can print my result. So I get 17. You can also see, you can get the value of booleans. Yeah, so this is a true. Also in the same case, you can check this and this also give you a true. So basically what would happen is it's going to evaluate, you know, whatever is inside the print. If it's a literal meaning, if it sees that it's a boolean type, it's an integer type, then it prints it. But if you're printing a variable like this, then it's going to check if, you know, it already has a variable, then it prints that. But what if I remove this, or let me say I comment this, then what's gonna happen? Then I get this error which says the result is not defined, because I have not defined this variable. Basically the program is looking for result and it cannot find it. So if I still go ahead and run this, then it's going to give me an error saying the result is not defined. So the only way I can print this is either to put it in a string and just go ahead and print result, or make result a variable and assign something to it, result. Then printing this would give you a result. So always know that the print statement would print the result of a variable or the literal data type itself. On the other hand, the input function works similar to a print, but the only difference is that it outputs an expression in the form of a question, and it doesn't continue its execution unless you've entered, unless you've pressed the enter keyword. Check this out. How is your Python going? Okay, if I was to run this, I get this. How is your Python going? So the cursor is waiting for me to give an answer. Okay, I can say fine. So until I do that, the execution is not going to continue. So that's the difference between the input and the print. So the input is going to tell me, it's going to give me an expression in the form of a question. It could be anything. Whenever you say input, then you're saying that, okay, you are expecting the user to to give you an answer to a question. I could say, are you a teenager? How old are you? So as a rule of thumb, just to make your code more clean, it's always advisable to put a space after the last statement of your input. So check this out. I'm going to print this and see what we get. So it asks, are you a teenager? How old are you? Then I can put in anything, 67. So until I hit enter, then the program just pauses. So if I wanted to get the value of this 67 and print it out, then I have to assign this input to a variable. So let's name a variable, say age, and I do this. So if I do print, you age. So in programming, having this plus here is called concatenation. It does not necessarily mean that I'm adding, two values of a string together. It just means that I'm joining two strings together. So I'm asking the user, are you a teenager? How old are you? So once they put in their age, it's stored inside this variable age. And what I'm doing in line 5 is that I am printing the age, adding some other set of strings to it. So see what we're going to have. So it asks, are you a teenager? How old are you? So if I say 14, then it prints you are 14 years old. Okay, so I can modify this however I want. The number of space, I could decide to put a space here and run it again. I say 24, then it says you are 24 years old. So just know the input comes in as a form of a question, the print comes in as a form of a statement. So also using the input and the message and the print, I'll show you something else. I could come here and say, tell me something, and I will repeat it to you. So print, I want to print the message. So remember from the previous example, the print would not print the string message. This would be different. It would print whatever is inside this message. So let's run this and see what we get. Say, tell me something, I will repeat it to you. So I could say using print, that's what I type, then it comes out using print. Sometimes you're going to want to write a prompt that is longer than one line. For example, you might be asking a user for their name, and you also want to tell them the reason why you're asking for the name. So on line 3, I say, if you say your name, I will write you a message. So in Python, there's this thing I'm doing, this symbol. What I'm doing is I'm joining the string with this variable again so that it can continue on the next line. Then I can say, what is your name? And if I run this, let's see what we get. But before that, I want to put this in an input. So I'll say input, then the variable name question. Okay, so the same way that input, that print can take a string, the input also can take a string. It can also take a variable that's holding a string value. So let's check this out. I'll say name equals to this. So let's run this. So when I run this, I got, if you say your name, I will write you a message. There's also something we can do. This, if I'm doing /n, this is called an escape character. So what this means is, this what is your name would be on a new line. Okay, so check this out. So when I run this program, it spans across multiple lines. If you say your name, I will write you a message. Then on the next line, it say what is your name. So it went on the next line because of this /n. So over here, I could say my name is John. So nothing is going to happen now. I could come and say print hello plus the name. Okay, so let's run this. If you say your name, I will write you a message. The /n made the what is your name jump on the next line. I'm saying John, then it goes hello John. And go ahead and also play with this again. If you say your name, I will write you a message. What is your name? I could say Jane. Goes hello Jane. You can go ahead and add whatever you want here. Hello Jane, you're welcome, and it outputs that too. John, hello John, you're welcome. To give you an idea of what's going on, I can put a breakpoint on line 3 and debug this program, and let's see what we have. So the control is stopping on line 3. Then about a step over, we could see a question remains this. We can watch that here by removing all expression and see what the question is. So our question is, you know, bringing this out. If you expand this, you would see that it's saying what is your name. So I can step over, and is expecting me to put in a name. If I put Toby, so my name is now Toby. So watching my name, it gives me Toby, and since it's Toby now, it's going to join hello plus the name, which is Toby, and you're welcome. So in the next video, I'm going to touch more on the input and see how we can get integers from them, because there's a certain way the input stores the result of a user. I always store it using the string. So I can say what is your age? If I do that and I try to print the type of the question, let's see. So it's going to give us a string. Actually, I want to do input question and probably name this something, your age, and have the type of your age. Okay, so the user might put in 7, is giving us string. So why is it giving us string instead of integer? Because after all, we put in 7. So we'll find out why in the next video. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, kindly like it and subscribe to it, and leave a comment if there's anything you have to say, and I'll see you in the next video. Ẹ ṣé gan. Ó dàbọ̀.